Boys, I've been having a bit of a theory in my mind here a bit, and maybe this is copium, maybe not, but I'd still like to share my theory with all of you. As I was kind of looking over some dueling stuff, specifically here in the maintenance. There was a post a couple days ago talking about how the changes to the daily bonus rewards, how it's going to be changing very, very soon. The following image is courtesy of It's Brad HD. Fantastic guy, but he posted this on Reddit that shows the before and after for the login rewards. And if you notice, you get a slight increase in jimmies, about 80 more gems per month or per 20 days or however this goes for. I think it's 20 days. And of course, this keeps accumulating. And, you know, it's not a crazy amount of different gems, but they did take the gold out. They put more ticket rewards in there as well. And just in general, less messy, if you will. And yeah, I think Konami might be ramping up for potentially a massive update in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. And obviously the login rewards is one thing, but it's more than just that. There's a lot of little things that they have been doing in the game that kind of leads me to believe this, and that's one of them. The next thing that kind of makes me think that way is I talked a little bit about the Duelist Pass. We all know that the Duelist Pass is just a massive scam, right? There's no real two ways about it. You should never go for the Duelist Pass. As I get pop-ups, I'm sorry. Anyway, like I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, the Duelist Pass is complete garbojo. However, they did add the ability to purchase it with gems, which was not previously a mechanic. You should never do this because it's not worth your gems and there's better uses for it. But if they were to ever improve the Duelist Pass, that is now available in the actual shop for you. Okay, a little bit more situational. Like maybe it's just a coincidence, right? Okay, fair. How about we talk about selection packs? Selection boxes have always been problematic in Duel Links. Specifically when you're talking about Book of Moon, when Necro Valley came out, there was the Karma Cut. There was a lot of the early selection box cards were highly problematic. When you get to the more recent ones, the 2020 selection box ones, they aren't bad at all. When you look at this one, the best thing in here ends up being things like Breakthrough Skill, which, to be honest, wasn't really that amazing, and it really isn't that required right now at all. Very few decks would prefer it over just playing a Forbidden Chalice, for example. And probably more importantly, the most recent selection box, the one that came out right before Master Duel, has Bottomless Trap Hole, and some decks play Blackluster Soldier. These selection packs are just completely irrelevant, if you will. They're just not really good. And that's in Duel Links' history, you could not be a competitive player unless you purchased these selection boxes. And they did this on purpose. You know, you don't release a card like Book of Moon, which is notorious in TCG and has been banned in TCG and limited in TCG and just constantly shafted over and over and over. You wouldn't release it as a UR for a full volume with, you know, they knew they were going to make a ton of money off of it, right? Same with Necro Valley, same with Fiendish Chain. It's not a coincidence that this kind of shifted as we got closer to Master Duel release. On top of that, you can now purchase way more packs. Look at this. The purchase limit for this selection box is 25 packs. Again, not that you should spend your gems on selection boxes because they're a scam unless you're willing to spend real money on them and willing to actually invest in them. But look at this, 25 packs that you can now purchase selection box with. If gems were more accessible and easier to get, this probably wouldn't even be that bad of a deal, if we're being honest. If they were more frontally loaded like they are in Master Duel and you had better chances to open things, this wouldn't be that bad. And this happened with the most recent update. On top of that, just for like the normal boxes, the 50% gem sale. The last time we had a 50% gem sale, it was kind of disappointing. We expected to go all the way up to the Ritual Beast box, and it never actually made it to the Ritual Beast box. Not only did we get to Ritual Beasts being half off, on top of that, we also have Alistair being half off as well. So it looks like they're kind of getting back on track, if you will, when it comes to the 50% off gem sale. Where before they kind of went off track and kind of delayed it because they didn't want to give, you know, things like Ritual Beast and Alistair and all this stuff for 50% off. Especially this Dark Dimension. I believe Necro Valley is in here as well. Yes, especially with Commandment coming out. You know, that's going to be very good for that deck. Speaking of Commandment, can we talk about how certain power cards, like for example Manju and Commandment, are coming out as SR cards? Normally, under Duel Links standards, these cards would be powerful enough to be considered URs in boxes, especially Commandment, which will probably have meta impact on the actual game itself. And that's just an SR. On top of that, even things like Phantom Knights are really not that bad. If you have Yugioh, are really not that bad. Multiple SRs that you can use, as well as the UR, of course, being a mini box, is really not that bad either. So the box generosity, while the box strength isn't what it used to be, the box generosity with rarities, anyway, are coming down again, which is a trend that I'm willing to kind of acknowledge. Now, there is the Dark Magician Blue Eyes event going on right now, where you get the dream tickets, where you get the gems, and there's going to be a KC Cup, which will be happening around the time that Master Duel will be receiving its big update, if you will. So, in my mind, anyway, right after a KC Cup is usually when we see big updates or big announcements to the game, big ban lists, stuff like that. And it may not be necessarily soon, but there are these small, I guess, quality of life changes that, like a lot of these, if they came out a year or two ago, where they didn't release broken selection box cards, and the selection boxes that they did release, you could buy up to 25 packs versus the I believe it was 10 in the past. You know, the 50% gem sale actually going up to good boxes instead of being kind of cucked right before we get to the really, really, really good boxes. You know, Book of Moon came out as a UR in a main box that was otherwise worthless, you know, so it's interesting to see something like Commandment come out as an SR. You know, if all these things happened like a year or 2 years ago, people would have been more excited. So maybe it's reaching for straws. Maybe I'm just seeing something that isn't actually there. But a lot of these changes just feel like, to me anyway, that the game is changing a lot of the core aspects to the game and how the game is approached, to maybe possibly give us a big update, hopefully sometime this year, to kind of put Duel Links back in line with Master Duel. And even if they don't, I still want to recognize that while some of these changes may be small, they are still good and positive changes for Duel Links, and it's definitely not put on the right path yet, but this is a good start to kind of get us there. So I'm hopeful that this means something more. Again, I might just be crazy. I don't know. You guys let me know down in the comments what you think. And if you are still playing a lot of Duel Links, how have you liked the changes? Have you even noticed the changes? Are they impacting you in any way whatsoever? Let me know down in the comments. Till next time, boys. Peace out.